So I feel like I'm more a bass player than a guitar player. Both of my skills, I feel I'm good. I'm decent at both of them. But I think I feel a little bit more comfortable on bass than guitar. But the one thing is, and for all my guitar players, we know how to fake it on a song if we don't know it. One reason, especially us that know by ear, that learn by ear, we can learn the melody of a song on spot and remember it way easier than actually learning the chord progression. But when it comes to bass, on the other hand, there's really no faking it. I mean, there are a few things you can do. If you know there's a change, you can do like a quick little boom, 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 little run or whatever. But you have to know what you're doing because you're the foundation. And if you mess up, then I had a gig. A friend of mine, his name's Lucas, he invited me out. And basically, he sent me a text message. Text message went kind of something like this. Hey bro, are you free the night of July the 2nd? Yeah, what's up? We have our 4th of July service and need a bass player. Would you be free? Yeah bro, just send me the details. It pays $10,000 for the service and 2 midweek rehearsals, June 21st and June 28th. I say, sounds good, I'm in, send me the planning center request. Then I remember, wait, actually, I'll be at summer camp that week. He says, yeah, you just have to make it to the 28th. And then I say, sounds good. This is mid to end May. So that gives me all of whatever left he gave me in May, all of June to practice, and then like the first few weeks in July. So let's just be generous and say he gave me a month and a half to learn these songs. Guitar players, bass players, musicians, especially if we play CCM, you know how we get. We get lazy. We learn everything by ear. Thing is 1564, 6415, and we learn stuff 30 minutes before the gig or the service starts. Sometimes it's just, hey, we've got other stuff during the day. We get called last minute, and the only time we have to learn the song is the drive to the church, to the gig. Now, being able to learn songs in a quick time, really fast, that's a great skill to have, especially when you get to the point where you don't have to touch your instrument. But that's not something we should rely on. So weeks go by. I accept planning center, but don't even really look at the set. A week goes by. Don't look at the set list. Another week goes by. Don't look at the set list. Another week. So maybe 3 weeks go by, and the week of the 21st, when I'm going off to summer camp, I'm practicing all my songs for that week. There's songs that we've already played, but I'm like, you know what? I need to brush up. But I'm like, you know what? I've got rehearsal next week. Let's just listen to these songs right quick. And when I tell you, I was in for a surprise. Bruh. When he said that we were going to do 4th of July at the church, I thought it was just going to be like, I don't know, like Phil Wickham does his version of God Bless America, a Chris Tomlin song, CCM here, CCM there, and that'll be it. No, this was like full on jazz, standards jazz, like jazz stylized songs. Now, the thing about me is I've been blessed to play a lot of different genres, CCM, gospel, funk, all types of Latin stuff. Even now, I'm starting to get into country. These are all metal. Metal's where I started with. These are all things that I feel comfortable with. You call me for a Latin gig, gospel, CCM, rock, or even country, I can. But jazz is something I've never touched. And so I go and listen to these songs. One, like everything was, I guess, recorded by their music director. and everything is MIDI. So bass is MIDI, and it's super low sub bass, so I can't even hear the notes. Thank God I'm at a point where I can read sheet music. They don't even have sheet music. So in this case, you should reach out and say, hey, can I get like a bass track, or can I get like sheet music or something for it? But me being embarrassed, this is a week before rehearsal, and I've had a month and a half to rehearse and practice these songs and ask for help. I'm like, there's no way I can tell them I don't know these songs. And so I want to share with you basic. So what I had to do is, which I don't normally do, is make a jazz chord chart. So for you guys who don't know what a jazz chord chart is, it's gonna look something like this. There we go. So what is this? God Bless America. We got the key, instrumental. This shows how many beats. And as you can see, this song is what? 2 pages. Then we have God Bless America 2, because we had another version of that. Probably, it took about 3 weeks. So that was the week I was at summer camp, the actual week of that rehearsal, and then that following week, which I should have had the songs learned way before then, but that's a whole other topic. Then after that, I worked my way down to the easier songs. Actually, that's a lie. There was one song, To God Be the Glory. So I knew that, but I needed to practice it. And then there was another song, what was it? Rescue Story. That had the same 4 chords, more or less. So that was one I didn't spend any time really practicing until the day of. Not because it wasn't important, but I knew that if I did not practice that song, because I memorized the way it goes, I could play it. I needed to spend all that time on the other songs. So I show up to the rehearsal, and I am a hot mess. Usually I'm posting on Instagram, hey, this is what I'm doing. I didn't even think about that. I'm just sitting over there looking at my book like, right, yeah, to the 1, flat 7. This is the part where we go to G, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there with my bass just practicing. Guys, when you get in rehearsal, that is not the time to practice. You need to know this before you get in. So this is my bad. I get up there, I plug up the stage. I meet the worship leader, music director, worship pastor. I forget his name, but super sweet guy. And the first thing I do is, all right, I need a music stand. I can't even get a music stand. So, one, I don't ask. I just look around. Couldn't find one. Once again, I'm too embarrassed to say, hey, I don't know these songs. So, I just take this book, lay it on the floor, and try to kick it over with my feet and go to the next page. That didn't work. During rehearsal, every time a change happens, I'm over bending down trying to change the page. But that definitely didn't work. And it was, once again, embarrassing. So I get through the night and I'm like, yo, this is horrible. Especially the first song. Oh yeah, there was an orchestra. So that was something. I've never played with an orchestra before. Honestly, it really didn't make a difference. If you're used to playing with tracks, then playing with an orchestra really isn't. But yeah, we'll get to that part, and I get my walking bass part. That was like the one part I had down. I was like, all right, we get that. And I just get nervous. And if you've seen the Flash, and the reverse Flash does that little vibrating hand thing.
Cisco. But you're not that smart.
That was me with my right hand. It just freaks out. I get nervous. And so I can't even play that. So like for that whole like 2 or 3 minutes, I just kind of stay silent. It was rough. So I get through it, and the whole time I'm just hating life. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I want to go home, go sit in my room, cry, do whatever. So after that, after rehearsal, I go up to the worship pastor. Hey, I'm sorry for the mistakes. And he was like, what mistakes? I didn't hear anything wrong with you. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, half of the songs I didn't even play. So that's why you didn't hear anything wrong. But go home, practice for the next week. And I show up and I just give it all I got. And surprisingly, I had everything memorized. Still during the service, I was still thinking, man, I'm messing up. And my thought is, I just need to hurry up and leave. So I do my thing. We have it. Everybody's like, man, you did such a great job. Man. Your bass sounded great. And I'm just like, bro, shut up. Like, you don't know. That was a Sunday. Monday, I see Lucas post a clip of the service on his story. And I'm like, the bass sounds pretty good. And so I messaged him, hey man, where can I get the link? He's like, oh, it's on Facebook. Go to our Facebook link, you can find it, and you can listen to the whole service. I'm like, all right, cool. And I go back and listen, and I'm like, I actually know what I'm doing. There were a few mess ups there. I missed maybe a couple of hits here and there, but I actually knew what I was doing. I actually sounded like I played jazz music. Now, to a jazz musician, you probably would listen to me and be like, no, it's obviously don't. But I was able to make it. I was, I guess, sort of proud of myself because I was like, all right, you're able to figure it out. But also embarrassed because, KJ, you should have done better. So the moral of the story is, guys, don't take set lists for granted. Use the time you have to practice. Ask about the set list before you accept it, just in case it's out of your league. But also, even if it is, say yes, because this was a great experience for me. And now I've got this under my belt. And next time something like this happens, I can kind of take that with me.